Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV. The topic now we'll be talking about is the High Elections Committee, the HEC, which announced the final results of the constitutional referendum. 20,613,677 voters cast their ballots on the new constitution with an astonishing 98.1% approval.
Yes, and after all the attempts to solve the Egyptian-Ethiopian crisis over the Renaissance Dam at the negotiation table, which ended in failure after a third round of negotiation on the 4th of January, with Egypt withdrawing from the discussions and conferences being held in Khartoum. There is now talks at the governmental level about internationalizing the issue. At the same time, Egypt is witnessing rising popular demand to resort to the UN Security Council to establish Egypt's right to veto the establishment of the Renaissance Dam, given the potential danger it represents to Egyptian water security.
Yes, and one more topic we'll be raising with our guest for today is that the clock ticks towards the third anniversary of the January 25th revolution, and the political rivals in Egypt are racing to seize control of Cairo's Tahrir Square, the epicenter of the 2011 revolution and, of course, the 2013 revolution as well. The iconic square was the gathering point of 18 days of mass protest that started on January the 25th in 2011 that toppled former President Mohammed Hosni Mubarak and, of course, another former president, which is Mohammed Morsi. And I'm honored to be having with me here Dr. Gamal Ayoubi.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us, Professor of Energy and the Manager for the Future Center of Economy and Politics. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much also.
Dr. Gamal, I guess the first question will be about the constitutional referendum. What is the significance of 20 million voters or more participating in the referendum and with a percentage of 98.1% saying yes?
Positively influences that it is a clear message to the globals or the Westerns that we have peoples can create themselves by themselves.
Yes.
And this is a clear message that the major parts, which is already positively went to the elections, they already assured that they are agreed for what they hear and also what they confident that is supposed to be on place.
Mm-hmm.
A clear message also to grant Western countries which try to lead the democracy and they try to promote such democracies and they try to get the violences even to apply the democracies by their moods or their attitudes.
Yes.
And I think it's very clear to all of us who is dealing with the democracy under the water, not in evaluation on the ground. And the message from Egyptians in the referendum happened is, gentlemen in the world, we can care about ourselves by ourselves without no advising or no orientation from abroad.
Yes. So this is some of the fruits gained. You mentioned the message to the world. How did the Western media perceive this message and the results for the referendum?
Negatively, I can say to you, because now, you know, you can evaluate what kind of civilized country across the world by their reactions. And if you believe very much that the state which is dealing with the democracy in the world try to go for a lot of revolution across the world to get a human rights, to perform the humanity believing that all the countries and all people are supposed to be in peace, in rights, in beneficial of their countries. And the end of the story now, the state is struggled well related to what is going across Egypt. In some time you find three types of reactions from the state. The first reaction after the referendum, that there is a foreign affairs community had been visited Egypt, part of the Congress for supporting the all international aids in some countries, and they try to be positively reaction that Egypt now is transit to the positively democracy. In the other side of the mirror, you find that Mr. Kiri tried to deliver a message that is not a final approach to Egypt, that translation or transfer from a right democracy by a constitution. And I was completely doubt. In the other third mirror, you find that there is no any approach from the states export to across the world that to give a clear message how the president of the state may his opinion towards what happened in Egypt. And completely what happened in Russia is something is very respected, because a clear message after a few hours that we're closing the voting, that we get a good approach from the President Putin had been submitted through his embassy in Egypt, that celebrations are supposed to submit it to all Egyptians for a very good willing and good stuff to think about what they're looking for. Also Chinese, and you will find a lot even in the European Union, represented by Ashton, that they said Egypt now is proceed to the future democracy and fulfill the requirements for the future map.
Dr. Gamal, how did you interpret the participation of the Egyptian women in the constitutional referendum and the June 30th revolution, because they were the main catalyst or the main reason behind the success of the revolution and the constitutional referendum?
We have three parts in Egyptian categories. The first supposed is a standard citizen. The second is the youngest citizen, or the party of the youth itself.
Yes.
The third part is the human, and the woman, sorry. The woman in Egypt is a part, we didn't put it in everywhere. And we consider that the ladies in Egyptian history, they are not so easy. If you back to your history in Egypt history, you find that Cleopatra was a very successful kingdom to believe and prove to the world how to make the culture of Egyptian in a lot of imperials across.
Yes.
And the clear message even for the woman, Egyptian woman now, that a clear culture is coming, because it's shame for all Egyptian if the lady is coming across the street and they try to go for voting. Supposed to be surrounded and secure by her husband, her brother, his sons, whatever. But the condition now, if the woman try to break down the wall and assure that the security had been created already by the army and the interior police across the streets and the entrance of the cities, is clear message that it's felt by them that's easy now to go and put their stamp. The second also options for them, they believe very much and they scared well about the future, which is not clear. The vision of the education, the future to get the bread, for the future even to get a healthy care. It's a lot of things lead these ladies to go and directly, without concern about what is going level of security across the street or what happened maybe, but they are ready to assure and stamp they shall achieve the future mapping clear, because they trusted that the people leading now the future map, they are very trusted and very confident what they need to prove to Egypt.
Yes. So one of the critical points that was mentioned during this political practice for the referendum for the constitution was the youth participation. Like you mentioned, it's an important segment of the society, and it was stated that the absence of youth in several in terms of turnout versus the percentage of turnout was obvious regarding to previous political practices. How would you comment on this statement?
For the youth is already was in the referendum election. If you go to the statistics, you will find that there is some figure out statistics had been delivered after the referendum evaluation, and it showed that we have a very positively percentage, but it's not spreaded like the tourism happened in 2012. The tourism showed as clear to the peoples that some people had been forced by some certain revolution-oriented group try to get some of the youth toward to apply a template they are looking for their aims and their targets. The general youth and the freedom youth we have, and this is what that they did to go to the referendum, and we have a part, but it's not like what we said. Is not like the role happened in the previous constitution or previous elections. The difference is there is a part of this youth felt scared that maybe the revolution demands, which happened after which had been held for 25th January, is not proven, is not achieved, and also the corrupted faces spread it across. This is part, it may give them an opportunity that they may not go, some part of them not go to the election. But it's still a big portion of this, they already proved that they are willing to go more further for more benefits with the new future map.
Do you think they're satisfied today? The youth came with the 25th of January revolution. They had some certain and main demands 3 years ago. We're just approaching the anniversary for the 25th of January revolution, and they had three main objectives for the revolution. Do you think they are kind of satisfied today with what they have achieved?
If you try to evaluate what reaction and what actions had been set on place after the referendum had been finished, the first there is a general meeting, is including a lot of parties for three main ministries. It's including the housing ministry,
housing and development,
also a part of encouragement and believing of the all youth in Egypt that their future for the demands, it will be achieved.
For the past week, and the whole world have seen this actually, is the celebrations that were made after the constitutional referendum and during the constitutional referendum as well. The women dancing on the streets and ululating after casting their ballots. How do you explain that? The festive mood.
I can explain to you because you know very much our feeling, real feeling, you got your real feelings from Egyptian is the how to deliver and display their feelings from internal to the external.
Yes.
And this is what happened. The most critical that when you find the ladies, the Egyptian ladies, they are dancing in the street. That means they are not care if there is some shame or it's not allowed or some exacts prevent them. If they deliver, that's clear to the vision and all the display theater in the world, it's clear message that they are really feel well what is going in the future, and they very confident that Egypt now has a leader and Egypt now has a future outlines.
Yes.
And their demands for these outlines is on place now and very confident to go forward.
Yes. So if we move from the constitutional referendum and speak a little bit about the 25th of January anniversary and also the police celebration, Police Day celebration, if you can tell us how is these two significant celebrations are moving together this week. Since if you remember 3 years back, that was the conflict between the youth and the police forces, and now they're joining forces, they're joining hands